Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and this is my review for Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, Episode 5. Now, last week I was busy, so I didn't check the manga for filler, but I did it this week, and apparently the anime staff just doesn't like the manga because they keep changing things up. You know, practically half of the last episode was filler. Aladdin was never captured by Olba and the pirates. So practically every scene last episode involving Aladdin was filler. Half the scenes this episode involving Aladdin are filler. These things never happen, and they took out a bunch of stuff from the manga for this episode as well. You know, when Morgiana throws them into the fortress, she doesn't actually throw them in. It's Aladdin. He carries them in on his flying turban thing. Okay, so if you remember last week, I said, why didn't they break their legs? It's because it didn't happen. Because Shinobu Otaka isn't an idiot, but the anime staff is apparently. And parts of this fight are real, like the parts where they're shooting at them with the magic tools, and they go into the tunnels. Morgiana chases after them, beats them all. That stuff is canon, but there's this huge gap where they just skip stuff. What really happens after that is they capture all the people there, tie them up. They ask Mother for help, Omidora, and she has the ground collapse beneath them. All right, they get sent into the water. They're sinking, and then this thing shows up. I'll show it to you. All right, this monster thing shows up, and it turns out that this is the true form of the fortress. This is what the real fortress looks like, and then you can see Omidora's evil face at the bottom there. So, that they're trapped underwater, trying to fight this thing, and they're not doing well at all. Alibaba has to use Amon's sword, because part of what the fortress does is it shoots these ice spears, and it reminds them of Judal. And this is also when we learn for the first time that the children are powering the fortress with their Magoi, by the way. But he uses Amon's sword. He comes up with the plan. And he protects everyone, and he actually looks cool, because the anime doesn't like making Alibaba look cool. That was evident at the end of last season with that anime original ending. But Alibaba actually looks cool here. Then he saves everyone, brings them into the fortress. Then that's when the anime starts covering stuff again. They're inside the fortress running to try to get to Mother. The small children with the knives and everything trying to stop them. They talk about their mothers for a little bit. And Aladdin, who's with them, he's been with them the entire time, fighting and everything. He's thinking about the lady from that one clan, the lady who gave him his staff, the same clan that Goldtis is from. He's thinking about her. Then they finally reach Almidara. She uses the halo fan on them and hits them with the mist. Aladdin doesn't really seem to be affected by it, and he says in the manga at least that it's because he never met his mother. But there is a huge hint. There's a huge hint in this episode about Aladdin's past. He says something along the lines of, "You're my mother from the other world." Okay, so that's a huge hint. That's not even really a hint. It's just a dead giveaway, but it's a pretty big hint about his past. But the point of this mist is to make people think that Almidara is their mother. Morgiana's the first to go. Then Alibaba, or maybe it was Hakuryu first. It doesn't really matter. Hakuryu and Alibaba come after Morgiana. Aladdin saves, breaks Alibaba and Morgiana free from Almidora's grasp, but he isn't able to break Hakuryu free. So when the three of them are free, and Olba and the others try and attack them, they're about to defend themselves, and Hakuryu ends up turning on them. Not only that, but he ends up activating his full Jin equip, except it's more than just a weapon equip. like with his like spear. What I don't even know what hand motion to make, but it's more than just a weapon. It's an actual full Jin equip, but only half of his body is affected. So it's like a half full body Jin equip or something. I don't even know. I've never seen anyone do a half full Jin equip before, but we know it's a full Jin equip because he says dwell on my body. You only say dwell on my body if you're doing a full Jin equip, but only half of his body is affected by it. We don't really know why. We don't know if it's just his lack of training, like he just hasn't gotten there yet, or if it's just because he chose to only equip half his body with the full Jin equip. But that's it for the episode, really. Like, they skipped a big scene. They don't like Alibaba, I guess, so they wanted to skip any scene that makes him look cool. There isn't really much in this episode that's enjoyable, to be honest. I guess I'll give this episode a 5.5 out of 10. I was going to give it a 6 out of 10, but because it really was just an okay episode. But then I remembered, that's when I realized that they skipped an actual scene that was actually cool to look at. So I'll decrease it to a 5.5. But yeah, that's really it for this episode. I don't see why A1 Studios would animate a series if they don't like what actually happens in the series and they feel the need to change everything up. But it's disappointing. But what are you gonna do? That's it for this review. This episode of Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, gets 5.5 out of 10. And that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.